Now he's speaking to reporters, taking questions from them. Let's listen in.
Cancer treatment, so
yes,
this goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
Mr. President, are another round of talks planned with Iran? And if so, will you send Vice President J.D. Vance again?
Well, he's done a good job, and Steve and Jared, they've all done a very good job. And I can tell you that we've been called by the other side. They'd like to make a deal very badly, very badly.
What was the sticking point over? You said it was over nuclear.
It was over nuclear, very similar, yeah, very good. I guess you're listening. It's over the fact that they will never have a nuclear weapon. Iran, you marking it down? Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. And we agreed to a lot of things, but they didn't agree to that. And I think they will agree to it. I'm almost sure of it. In fact, I am sure of it. If they don't agree, there's no deal. There'll never be a deal. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, and we're going to get the dust back. We'll get it back. Either we'll get it back from them or we'll take it.
Mr. President, as far as the naval blockade is concerned, what's the end game? Is it to force Iran back to the negotiating table? Is it to open up the strait so that gas prices ultimately come down?
Maybe everything. I mean, both of those things, certainly, and more. We can't let a country blackmail or extort the world, because that's what they're doing. They're really blackmailing the world. We're not going to let that happen. And, you know, the amazing thing is we don't, can you believe this? We don't use the strait. We don't need the strait. We have our own oil and gas, much more than we need. We have more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia. Think of this. We produce more. Saudi Arabia, and add Russia to it. Substantially more. And by next year, we'll have double that amount. So we don't need it, but the world needs it. And many ships are heading to our country right now as we speak to load up with the best. Really, I guess you could say, somebody said the best and sweetest. I don't know exactly what sweet is, but when it relates to oil, it's a good thing. But they're coming to our country right now. There are many boats coming to our country. Now, it could very well be this is going to be settled before that. We've been called this morning by the right people, the appropriate people, and they want to work a deal. They would like to work a deal.
Is it your anticipation, Mr. President, that other countries will assist in this effort to blockade Iran and those?
Yeah, other countries are going to also.
Which countries, sir?
We don't need other countries, frankly, but they've offered the services. We'll let it be known probably tomorrow.
Has the blockade started, sir?
Yeah, started 10 o'clock.
Bishop Robert Barron supports you and your policies, praises you for defending religious freedom.
Yeah.
He now says you owe Pope Leo an apology. Will you apologize?
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead, and it's not going to happen. So I can't. I think he's very weak on crime and other things. So I'm not. I mean, he went public. I'm just responding to Pope Leo. And you know, his brother is a big MAGA person, and he's a great guy, Louis. And I said I like Louis better than I like the Pope. Now, you have to have law and order in our country, and that's what we have now. We have the lowest crime numbers we've had in a long time, despite the fact that many criminals were allowed into our country. But we've gotten a lot of them out. We've done a great job on crime. So we have the lowest murder rate in 125 years, since 1900, the lowest murder rate. So we believe strongly in law and order, and he seemed to have a problem with that. So there's nothing to apologize for. He's wrong. The other thing is he didn't like what we're doing with respect to Iran, but Iran is wants to be a nuclear nation so they can exterminate the world. Not going to happen.
And Mr. President, on Iran, if the deal is not reached by the end of the ceasefire, does your threat from before still stand?
Yeah, I don't want to comment on that, but it won't be pleasant for them. Let me put it that way.
Do you still plan to charge a toll to use restraining order, sir?
Has your timetable changed in any way in terms of ending this conflict?
No, we're just going. It's going on. Right now, there's no fighting. Right now, we have a blockade. They're doing no business. I didn't like seeing boats come out if they were doing business with Iran, but if they weren't, no boats came out. So now Iran is doing absolutely no business, and we're going to keep it that way very easily. Don't forget, their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft is gone, their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. It's a lot.
Do you still want to charge them?
Reports coming from predominantly going to China, Mr. President. Has Xi Jinping reached out? I know you're going to be...
No, but we have a very good relationship with China. He would like to see this ended also. He certainly wants it ended. Everyone, I want to see it ended too, but we can't give a nuclear weapon to a group of people that have caused nothing but havoc for 47 years. Look, I'm the president that's done something about it. This should have been, and many other presidents regret that they didn't. You know, so I'm doing something about it.
Ukraine impeachment documents that were just declassified show that Eric Charamella not only submitted false information, but that he had no direct knowledge of the alleged conversations. All hearsay. Do you feel vindicated by those?
Yeah, I do. They're a bunch of crooked people. You're talking about with respect to all of the things that they put against me? Yeah. Well, it's come out that in so many different ways. Thank you very much for that question. I appreciate it. But in so many different ways, the election was rigged. The 2020 election was rigged. We found that out. What you just said is just a piece of that. It's a big piece, but minor, relatively speaking, compared to what they did. They cheated in the election. They cheated on the vote. They cheated in every way possible, and it's the only way we got an incompetent man to be a president. And he was an incompetent man. Many of the things that we're talking about, even including this would have been settled a long time ago, not now. And it should have been settled by other presidents. But the election was a rigged election. We can't let that happen to our country.
It's concealment of exculpatory information. What should happen?
Well, it's a very serious charge against them and the Democrats. They cheat. They can't get elected with their policy. So their policy is no good. They want to have, open borders. They want to have men playing in women's sport. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't, I'll bet you do.
No, I'm here about
Pizza.
no tax on tips.
Yeah. Okay.
Madam President, can you say your name, please, and you delivered to the White House before?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is it your understanding that during this period of time, while the U.S. has instituted this naval blockade, that oil companies will be able to send their oil tankers through the strait, get more oil out from this area?
Yeah, I think they're going to be doing very well there, and I think they're doing very well here. You know, a lot of tankers are coming up here. They're coming in empty and out full. And we have a great capacity to take care of that business.
Ma'am, may we know your name, please? Have you delivered to the White House before?
I have not. My name is Sharon Simmons.
And are the White House good tippers? Do you know?
Wait.
Potentially. Yes, very.
Mr. President, can I ask you something
That's
about
good.
Cuba?
Thank you. You reminded me.
Mr. President, one on Cuba, sir. You previously said that you had no problem with countries sending fuel to Cuba after previously promising to tariff them. What happened? What changed?
Well, we're going to see with Cuba. Cuba's another story. Cuba's been a terribly run country for a long time. It's got a bad system. It's been very oppressive, as you know. And we have a lot of great Cuban Americans, all of whom just about voted for me. And they were treated very badly. In many cases, family members have been killed. They've been beaten up and mugged, and terrible things happened in Cuba. And Cuba's a failing nation. And we're going to do this, and we may stop by Cuba after we're finished with this. But Cuba is a nation that was just been horribly run for many years by Castro.
You said may stop by.
Housing regulator Bill Pulte, regarding those two recent referrals for Letitia James for insurance fraud, do you know if federal prosecutors have evidence to charge?
Well, I don't know. I know she's a very corrupt person. And you're talking about the so-called Attorney General of New York. She's a very corrupt person. That's been proven now. And I know I have nothing to do with it, but they're looking at things all over the place, more than one state, concerning her and concerning people like Comey, who's a dirty cop. Comey's a dirty cop, and dirty cops are bad. Nobody likes the police more than me, the law enforcement more than me, but Comey's a totally dirty cop, and we're not gonna stand for it. Yeah.
The UFC fight that's happening at the White House this summer. The UFC typically numbers those fights consecutively, but should they label this one UFC 1776?
That's a good idea. I'll tell that to Dana White. I like that idea, actually. I will say I've been involved with a lot of big events. I have never had an event that's had more interest than the UFC fight that we have right at the front door. Right there, they're going to start building about a 4,500 seat arena. And then in the back, at the Ellipse, we're going to have maybe 100,000, 50 to 100,000 people, I guess. They're building tremendous stages, and we're going to have massive screens of the fight. And it's a very popular sport. But I have never been involved, and because of the White House and everything, there's a lot of reasons for it, but we're having a fight at the White House on June 14th, and we're going to have an arena built right at the front door.
Wow.
And if you want, is your husband up to coming, do you think? Does he like UFC?
He might.
If he's feeling good, we'll make sure you come, okay?
That would be wonderful.
That's
Thank
better
you.
than the tip I just gave you, I'll tell you. That's a lot better. But no, if he's feeling good, right?
Yeah.
Is he doing okay? Is he going to be okay?
He's doing very well. He's doing very well. He actually, during the process, he wrote a book. And
Don't give him the name. Maybe
oh, he hasn't had it published yet, but it's a book on humility, and his name is Leo, and he's just
good guy.
doing good. He's doing great.
How long are you married?
We have been married for 6 years.
Oh, that's
But
good.
we've,
Okay.
like most people, we've been together for over 10. So
That's very good.
yeah.
Well, that's very nice to say hello to him. He's going to be good. Okay, he's going to get better, and he's going to be good.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I want to thank you all, and I especially want to thank you for being here.
Well, I want to thank you
Thank you very
for
much.
the no tax on tips.
Oh, that's good.
It has helped my family out immensely, and I definitely appreciate it. Thank
That's
you.
so nice. The one thing that I just in leaving, we've had more good press for a change, having to do with the fact that people are receiving more money from their tax refunds than they ever thought possible. We had a man the other day got $5,000, another one got $7,000. They weren't expecting anything like this, and it's because of the great big beautiful bill. And that's why you came, and I really appreciate it. And tell your husband to get better.
I will.
And if he's feeling good, you'll come up and you'll watch that fight.
All
okay,
right.
June 14th.
I appreciate it.
All
Thank
right?
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care of yourself.
Thank you.
Any update on
Thank you.
DOJ, though,
Thank
Mr.
you.
President?
Your reaction
You
to
went
Victor
leave
Orban?
DOJ. Any update on who you went to leave DOJ? Who you going to nominate?
Well, I think Todd, as far as doing a fantastic job, I will say that. He's a great lawyer. I know that because he's been with me a long time. And so far, he's doing a great job. But we have incredible people in the DOJ, getting better all the time. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you've been listening to President Trump outside the Oval Office there, taking some questions from reporters. Of course, he mentioned the ongoing war with Iran. There were some negotiations happening with Vice President J.D. Vance over the weekend. But from what he has said after that meeting, no deal reached with Iran. President Trump, as he spoke to reporters there, said that unpleasant things will happen to Iran if a deal is not reached by the end of the ceasefire, which I believe 9 days left in that ceasefire. So questions there. Reporters also asked him about his ongoing feud, I suppose, with Pope Leo. And he said that he will not apologize for the words he said to Pope Leo. Right now, I want to bring in CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi, because Olivia, as I just said, a lot of topics touched on there by President Trump. What were your takeaways from some of what he had to say?
Well, Muka, what a strange event just to begin with. The
Yeah.
White House press pool was called to gather very quickly, so everyone wasn't certain what this was because there wasn't an event on his schedule in which the president was supposed to speak. But then all of a sudden, we saw a DoorDash driver deliver McDonald's to the Oval Office. The president came out, and this was part of his messaging around his no tax on tips policy that was written into law in the One Big Beautiful Bill. And then we have now seen Americans, be the beneficiaries of that in this latest tax season. Part of an effort for the president to kind of recenter his messaging back on the economy. So quite notable there that he did that, especially when Iran is the big news, and Iran is what is hanging over the American economy right now, really scuttling some of the tax returns that people are getting because they're going to higher prices and higher gas prices right now. On Iran, the president did say that Iran called. He said the right people had called and they want to continue those negotiations. We do know that diplomatic negotiations are still ongoing behind the scenes. They are not face-to-face talks between the U.S. and Iranians, but they are conversations happening between the Pakistanis, the Egyptians, the Turkish, and other people who are involved in these negotiations. So notable there. On that AI depiction of the president as Jesus this morning, which he posted last night on True Social, got a lot of attention, got a lot of backlash from even conservative influencers who said that it was blasphemy for the president to depict himself as Jesus. The president said, and this was in response to Arwi Zhang, who asked if he posted it, because previously some things have been posted on the president's social media, and we've been told that it wasn't him who posted it, but aides. But on this one, the president said, "It wasn't a depiction. I did post it. I thought it was me as a doctor and had to do with the Red Cross and as a Red Cross worker," which we support, and then blame the fake news for saying that it was Jesus. However, it did look like he was personifying Jesus in that AI photo, and it was posted by a conservative influencer before depicting the president as Jesus. So there you go. And on Pope Leo, the president said he's not going to apologize to him. He said, "Pope Leo said things that were wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing in regard to Iran. He's weak on crime. He went public. I'm just responding. There's nothing to apologize for." And this comes after a 60 Minutes piece last night from Nora O'Donnell, talking to some of the archbishops in the United States about Pope Leo, his policies on Iran, why he's speaking out about this war in particular, with the backdrop of all of this tension between the Pentagon and the Vatican over some of the actions of the Pentagon in Venezuela and in Iran. So very notable that the president continues to call out the Vatican as well.
Yeah, Olivia Rinaldi, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for explaining the whole DoorDash situation there, because that was sort of weird and confusing, but obviously it seems the president had, I guess, a point to why that woman was there in the first place. Thank you for your time.
It shows you how much he wants to get back to economic messaging. Yep.
Right. Thank you, Olivia.